Today is Thursday, July 25th. What to know about President Biden's big speech meant to explain his campaign exit and define his legacy, and how former President Trump and Vice President Harris are trading insults in what's likely just a glimpse of the contentious race ahead. Also, the Israeli Prime Minister's blunt message to Americans, including those protesting against him. Plus, what to know about so-called brat summer. Which American city was chosen to host the 2034 Olympics? And the panels, parties, and costumes are ready. What's happening at the biggest fan convention in North America? Those stories and even more news next. Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in around 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. For the first time since dropping his 2024 presidential campaign, President Biden addressed the nation. Biden spoke about his love for the job he will leave in 6 months. But he also said it was time to pass the torch to a new generation of political leaders, emphasizing the importance of the upcoming election. As the president put it, quote, "The defense of democracy, which is at stake, is more important than any title." It's believed he was referencing the danger he thinks Americans face if former President Trump wins the presidency again, though he never called out Trump by name. Biden also laid out some of his priorities for what's left of his time in the White House. He spoke about his promises to cure cancer, stem climate change, and prevent gun violence. The president also said he plans to push for ethics reforms at the Supreme Court, and a lot more. And in his final minute, he said, quote, "History is in your hands." In response, former President Trump wrote on social media, quote, "Crooked Joe Biden's Oval Office speech was barely understandable and so bad. Trump and some other Republicans have been calling on Biden to step down now and not wait until his term ends in January. Still, he's not exactly a fan of the woman who would take over if Biden went that route. In his first rally since the presidential race was upended, the former president focused a lot on Vice President Kamala Harris. He told a crowd in North Carolina she was radically liberal. Trump pointed to several examples, like he said Harris supported executing babies after birth, something he's accused other Democrats of before too. But to be clear, Harris has never said that we know of, and it's something no state law supports. Trump also argued that Harris was too lax on crime when she was San Francisco's district attorney, and he pointed out how he's actually gotten the endorsement of the National Association of Police Organizations. The former president also called Harris the, quote, ultra-liberal driving force behind every single Biden catastrophe, specifically talking about efforts to tackle climate change, address immigration, and more. Well, Vice President Harris is still campaigning too, as she plays catch-up to earn her spot on the top of the Democratic ticket. She spoke yesterday to a gathering of the Zeta Phi Beta sorority in Indianapolis, telling the crowd her vision is focused on the future, while Trump's is focused on the past. Harris has brought in more than $126 million in donations since Biden first endorsed her for president, though the Trump campaign says it expects the Harris honeymoon to pass. To be continued. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu gave a passionate and controversial speech in front of the U.S. Congress, while outside, thousands of people were protesting against him and calling on the U.S. to stop sending Israel weapons. During his speech, Netanyahu addressed the protesters, calling them Iran's useful idiots. He was referring to American intelligence that has found Iran is at least trying to stoke protests here in the U.S. Netanyahu also said protesters choose to stand with evil, pointing to the terror caused by Hamas in both Israel and Gaza. He compared the attack on October 7th to the September 11th and Pearl Harbor attacks here in the U.S. And he promised to, quote, fight until we achieve victory. The prime minister also spoke about Israel's efforts to limit civilian casualties and allow humanitarian aid into Gaza, even as it targets Hamas. Though the United Nations and international aid groups say Israel has not done nearly enough. About 40 Democrats in the House and Senate boycotted Netanyahu's address, saying they're outraged at Netanyahu's policies. Capitol Police did beef up security ahead of time, putting up fencing around the Capitol and more. Yet they still ended up using pepper spray on protesters, saying some of them had started to become violent. The Secret Service is also investigating reports that protesters got into the building where Netanyahu is staying, releasing bugs and pulling fire alarms. Today, Harris and President Biden plan to hold private meetings with Netanyahu, and the prime minister will meet with former President Trump tomorrow. Well, the government's top investigative agency revealed some disturbing new details about the gunman who tried to assassinate former President Trump. FBI Director Christopher Wray testified before lawmakers yesterday, and he told them the shooter had been thinking about an assassination for a while, that he had even searched online for details about President Kennedy's assassination a week before the Trump rally shooting. The next day, the gunman visited the site of the rally and flew a drone in the area near the rally just 2 hours before Trump took the stage. As you know, he ended up injuring the former president and killing a man in the audience. He also seriously hurt 2 others. For now, Wray says the FBI still does not know exactly what motivated the shooter. Already, the Bureau has conducted more than 400 interviews and has brought extra personnel into this investigation. Massive wildfires are burning across the western U.S. and Canada, and the smoke is causing serious air quality concerns. As of yesterday, there were nearly 90 large active wildfires across the U.S. alone, mostly in California, Oregon, and Washington. They've burned through 2,200 square miles, an area about the size of West Virginia. Meanwhile, there are hundreds of uncontrolled wildfires burning across Western Canada in the face of record-breaking heat and expanding drought, and thick plumes of smoke are moving south. So air quality alerts are in effect for much of the U.S., from parts of California to Michigan, where people are being told to stay inside with their doors and windows closed as much as possible. Both Denver and Chicago ranked among the top 10 most polluted large cities in the world yesterday. And it's not expected to get much better today, since there's still a critical wildfire threat in effect for both Canada and the American Northwest. The National Weather Service says things should get better by tomorrow. All right, we have much more news for you still ahead, but first, thanks to our sponsor, SKIMS. You all know how much I love everything I've gotten from SKIMS so far. And sure enough, after I recently requested a mini session with a stylist as a gift for my upcoming birthday, even she was commenting on my newest finds, like how cute and versatile my SKIMS Soft Lounge long slip dress is. I love how I can dress it up or down, wear it alone, or throw on a jacket over it. And just like the name suggests, it's super comfortable and soft. And yes, the stylist commented on just how luxurious my new SKIMS Soft Lounge sleep set is as well. This matching pajama set can turn a hectic day into a calm, cozy evening in an instant. It's crazy how something so simple can make a difference in how you feel. So go definitely shop the SKIMS Soft Lounge collection at skims.com. Now available in sizes extra, extra small to 4X. And if you haven't yet, be sure to let them know I sent you. After you place your order, select The Newsworthy in the survey and select my show in the drop-down menu that follows. Now back to the news. In what's being called a stunning breakthrough, researchers have found huge success in preventing HIV. A groundbreaking study tested injections on thousands of young women and girls in South Africa and Uganda. The shots only had to be taken twice a year, and they were found to be 100% effective. That means none of the participants who received the shots got HIV during the course of the study, and no major safety concerns were found. So scientists see this as an exciting option, since even the prevention medications on the market now aren't always available for everyone and aren't quite as convenient as twice-yearly shots. But there's still more research to be done. Other studies now are testing how the shots work in men, transgender women, and others in several other countries. Researchers expect to get those results back next year. Then it could still be a while before the shots are approved. NBA fans will be watching their favorite teams play on different channels pretty soon. The NBA has signed new landmark deals for media rights. The new contracts with Disney, Comcast, and Amazon are worth a combined $77 billion over 11 years. That's a big increase over the NBA's current TV deal, and it represents the biggest change to the league's TV presence in decades. It means TNT, which has been airing NBA games since 1989, will no longer be a league partner after next season. And with Amazon, the league is getting its first streaming-only partner. Comcast will have games on both NBC and Peacock, including All-Star Weekend coverage. Disney's ABC will continue to be the home for the NBA Finals. The contracts will begin in the 2025 season. The Winter Olympics are coming back to the U.S. Salt Lake City was named the host of the 2034 Winter Games after Milan, Italy in 2026 and the French Alps in 2030. The last time the Winter Olympics were held in the U.S. was in 2002, also in Salt Lake City. And Team USA apparently loved it, saying there's nothing quite like home snow. Plus, the city has continued using the venues, so they won't need any new construction or a whole lot of upkeep. The formal announcement does come with one caveat, though. The Olympic Committee says it will pull the games if the World Anti-Doping Agency is undermined. Now, this comes as the FBI is investigating the agency's decision to accept China's explanation after its swimmers tested positive for drugs in Tokyo. Of course, before we get into Winter Olympics, we have the Summer Olympics coming up tomorrow. And now we know tennis star Coco Gauff will hold an American flag in the opening ceremonies, along with basketball legend LeBron James. At just 20 years old, Gauff will become the youngest U.S. flag bearer in Olympic history. Comic-Con International is back in full force. The convention typically draws about 135,000 fans of all things comics, games, movies, and art. But recently, there have been disruptions, first from COVID-19, then from the Hollywood strikes of last summer. So this year is expected to be the most normal one since 2019. Guests this year include stars like Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, Will Ferrell, Lisa Kudrow, Chris Hemsworth, Christian Slater, Lupita Nyong'o, and many more. Plus, there are bound to be some surprise appearances and surprise announcements, too. Already, we know Marvel is expected to talk about the upcoming Deadpool and Wolverine movie and announce what's next for the Marvel Universe. Other exhibitors include Lionsgate, Lucasfilm, and Image Comics. Of course, there will also be tons of activities, parties, and events celebrating all things pop culture, on top of costumes, merchandise, and even Comic-Con-specific food. Comic-Con runs through Sunday. That's it for the main news today, so now it's time for Thing to Know Thursday. But first, I want to take a moment to talk about our sponsor, Shopify. Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you focus on what you do best while turning browsers into buyers. That's the sound you could get used to hearing as the sales come in with Shopify, because Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. In fact, it's the internet's best converting checkout. I'm talking 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. And sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. What I love about Shopify is how, no matter how big you want to grow, Shopify gives you everything you need to take control and take your business to the next level. Plus, even if you think you're not tech-savvy, you can sell without needing to code or design. And Shopify's award-winning help is there to support your success every step of the way. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/newsworthy, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/newsworthy to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/newsworthy. Now back to Thing to Know Thursday. A new cultural trend is spreading all across social media and beyond. It's called Brat Summer. The term started really taking off when British pop star Charli XCX released her latest album called Brat. And since then, the hashtag #BratGirlSummer has been tagged in tens of thousands of videos and posts. And the so-called Brat aesthetic has taken over fashion and marketing. Now, even Vice President Kamala Harris is on board. Shortly after she announced her presidential campaign, Charli XCX posted online, quote, "Kamala is Brat." And it took almost no time for the internet to take notice, with memes and t-shirts with Harris's name printed in the style of the Brat album cover. The theme is even featured on the Harris headquarters' social media pages. So what does it mean exactly? Well, so-called brat culture is apparently about messy, imperfect self-acceptance. Many self-proclaimed brats say it's about misbehaving in a cheeky way and not conforming to expectations. And even though July is almost over, there's still plenty of time to enjoy your own brat summer. Well, thank you so much for listening today. We'll catch you up on more news to know tomorrow. Until then, have a great day.